It's time to take off your clothes, enjoy clothes-free living, and join us for Naked, Nudists, and Naturists.
Welcome to Naked, Nudists, and Naturists, the show that celebrates clothes-free living for all. I'm your host, Frank Stone.
And I'm your correspondent, Lisa Monroe, and I'll be reporting on all things within the naturist community. So it's time to get naked and join us.
And enjoy clothes-free living on Naked, Nudists, and Naturists. Well, greetings and welcome in to Naked, Nudists, and Naturists, episode 33 today. We thank you for being with us. We enjoy this time together. It gives us a chance to get together, clothes-free for all of the right reasons. Welcome on in. The pool is fine. The hot tub is fired up at the regular temperature. We have not only steaks, hamburgers, and hot dogs on the grill. We added some short ribs, some fish, and some corn, so it's going to be a fiesta of food today. We have your favorite drink over in the cooler off to the left, vegetables and fruit off to the right. Make yourself a plate and come back as many times as you want to as we take in the sunshine and the wind on our skin. We also have a little campfire out back. Whether it's too warm for a fire really doesn't matter, but it's a great place to sit around, have some camaraderie, and maybe even roast our marshmallow or two. Why not go to the max? Just enjoying clothes-free living for all of the right reasons. Now let's get to my brief interview with the very terrific Andee Rodgers. We're going to head up to Oregon this morning. Hope I pronounced the name of that state correctly. We're going to talk to Andee Rodgers. She's a woman's advocate and creator of the Women One Word, the WOW campaign. We'll talk quite a bit about that. She is also the Women in Nude Recreation Chair for the American Association for Nude Recreation, and she was named the AANR 2023 Woman of the Year. Much more on her resume, but, we do want to bring her in. Otherwise, I'll just be talking. We'll have to say goodbye to her. So let's welcome from Oregon, Andee Rodgers. Good morning, Andee. How are you today?
Good morning. I'm doing really well. Super excited to be part of this, and I thank you so much.
Well, you bet. Now, I'm from the northern climate originally, and I'm guessing about this time of year, if my memory serves me correctly, it's a little chilly to be nude 24 hours a day outside. Is that still the case?
Yeah, that's the case. However, yesterday it was lovely, so it was great. But most of the time, it's 30s and 40s, so it's chilly.
If you're focusing on women, and you have a bit of a campaign coming, you're going to be traveling around to a lot of places, right, to spread the word?
Yeah, I am. I have WINR on Wheels is kind of what I dubbed it, tour. But specifically, the workshops that I'm going to be talking to women about is called the ImPerfect workshop. So you take the word imperfect and you capitalize the letter I and the letter P. So it changes the whole concept to I'm perfect. Mm-hmm. So speaking to women, mostly in the Northwest and in the Western region of AANR, at different clubs and a few non-landed clubs that I get to visit. And I'll be talking to them about how my journey led me to being perfect per my standards.
All right. Well, great to have met you this morning, Andee Rodgers. I'd list her accomplishments off again and all that she's doing, except it would take another 35 minutes. Andee Rodgers, go out there and have a great clothes-free day, and we will definitely talk again soon. And best wishes on this tour until we speak again.
Okay. Thank you so much, Frank.
All right. Thank you. The very terrific Andee Rodgers. She's also going to submit brief reports from her various stops along the way in this journey, and we will have a full-length interview with her coming up in just a few months. And we thank Andee Rodgers for all of her time on today's show. What a terrific woman, a terrific advocate for naturism for all. And specifically, she's targeting women. That's her role right now. But what a great advocate for naturism overall. And we are very happy to have had her on the show today. And again, we'll have her again and again and again and again as we go throughout 2024. Well, you are listening to Naked, Nudists, and Naturists, episode 33 today. Thank you for being with us. We hope you're having a great clothes-free day. And now there she is, strutting in the room, the one, the only, the terrific Lisa Monroe. And here she is, the one and only, the terrific, the fully excessively over the top, nude and smiling, Lisa Monroe. Good morning, Lisa. How are you today?
Good morning, Frank. And I swear, I don't think I could get any less, nude and so forth. But, that's the way to go. It's the only way to go.
Excessively over the top, nude and smiling. That
Exactly.
is the way to go through life.
Absolutely.
Well, I thought we'd get into an article I found on cracked.com. That title alone makes me a little queasy, but it has nothing to do with whatever. They
Yes.
have a lot of bizarre things on there, but they have some naturism things on there too. And they have different businesses where you can be nude. Not only the customers, but I think the workers are nude. Which I've thought about this a lot actually over the years. Why don't we have nude businesses, nude hair salons, nude restaurants? I mean, we do, but they're few and far between. So the first one on the list I thought we'd talk about, I'll read a little bit, is a nude coffee shop. Well, hello. If you look at Twitter, the naturist nudist there, everybody has a coffee mug.
I was going to say that's kind of the elixir of life.
That's right. And everybody seems like everybody on Twitter, they take a nude selfie holding a coffee mug. I still haven't figured out the correlation, other than maybe it's their one piece of hiding something, although they don't hide anything. But I always get a kick out of it. Good morning, everybody. And they're holding a coffee mug. So why not a nude coffee shop?
I think that's a perfect idea. Well, think about it. When you work hard and you're sweating and you've got something that's really frustrating to do, or you're outside, clothes get filthy, they get dirty, they start to smell, you've got to wash. So you've got all of those other things, the wear and tear on your clothes, all of those things that we take for granted because we don't think about them. But it's just a much more practical thing to do.
Yeah, no, I agree. Okay, well, Lisa Monroe, we are going to dance off here. You will literally dance off in a few moments. I will metaphorically dance off and get to the interview. Always great to talk to you. Stay extra clothes free and smiling and dancing, and we will see you next week.
Yes, sir. Certainly will. You take care, Frank.
All right, have a great week.
I'm dancing out of here.
Okay. And there she goes, as promised, dancing off through the door, not to be seen again until next week, but we thank Lisa Monroe for everything. Yes, her baked goods are delicious, but also her bubbly, warm personality, always smiling when she comes in, and also her terrific content. We appreciate Lisa Monroe very much around here. We'll get to her again on next week's show. Let's get to my interview now with the very terrific Fiona Discom. She and her husband Michael run Naturist B&B. They have a hotel on a boat. You need to book a tour on this boat and book a stay, and they will take excellent naturist care of you. So let's get to it right now. My interview with Fiona Discom. Let's head over to the UK. We're going to talk to Fiona this morning, Fiona Discom from the UK, part of the Mike and Fiona team, or Fiona and Mike, she might prefer it that way. You've heard a lot about them, a big-time naturist couple all over the map. They've been in the New York Post. They've been in newspapers throughout the world. And among other things, they ended up opening a hotel on a boat, a naturist hotel on a boat. Of course, you can be clothed on the boat as well if you're a non-naturist, but we're a naturist show, so we're talking about the naturism aspect. So let's bring her to the show this morning, find out the entire story, how she discovered naturism, what it's done for her, how she and Mike are getting along with the hotel. And from the UK, Fiona Discom. Good morning, Fiona. How are you today?
Hi, Frank. I'm good, thank you. Yeah, lovely. But a bit cold in the UK at the moment.
Just a tad chilly. Now, I live in an allegedly warm area, and it was about 45 degrees Fahrenheit the other night. I don't know what that translates to Celsius, but it's darn cold.
Okay, so my story starts when I was at school, in secondary school, and I was about 11, and I started my period really, really early, and I started to develop quite early, and obviously other people in my class were not developed, the girls were not developed, and I was made fun of, and I was changing shape, like I said, and I was becoming very curvy. And the girls the boys as well, they actually made fun of me and said I was fat and and I had lots of derogatory terms thrown at me, and that sort of behavior when you're at school and you've got no one to talk to. Back then, nobody talked about body issues, or there's no one to go to. So I would spend a lot of my time at school in the toilet. And then I also consequently got told off for being in the toilet for too long.
Of course.
Obviously for the obvious reason, but other than that, I was sort of hiding away because I didn't want that barrage of assault on me, essentially, from, other people. And to be honest, some of the teachers were like that as well. They'd say, oh, you've been in the toilet so long, why are you in there? And they wouldn't ask me the reason. They'd just have a go at you and then just say that, you shouldn't have been in there long. Anyway, I would go to school. I wouldn't want to go to school because I was obviously getting bullied about my shape and all the rest of it. So I would go to school, even in the summer, with massive clothes on to hide my shape. Yeah. So I became essentially invisible, what I thought would be invisible, and just sit with a jumper on in a boiling hot summer, because I felt that this was the only way I could sort of fit in, really. And it's terrible to think about that now. And when I got a bit older and I realised that other people were essentially doing the same as I was, they were going through that process. I'd already gone through that and I'd reached right. But then it turned around, because then I was getting more attention from, say, the guys, and they were sort of backing off a bit and making me feel a bit better. So it took a long time, and by the time I was about 18, I think I'd managed to sort of obviously get over that side of things. But it took a long time, and that was nearly 6 years of torment. And I just thought to myself, and then I was sort of thinking to myself, I would go home and sit there and just cry, because I didn't know how to address at the time when I was younger. But as I got older, I think it became a bit easier. And I just thought to myself, well, that's their problem. But I think when you're young, you don't think like that. So it was quite a process I had to go through to get myself out of that.
We're talking to Fiona Discom this morning, part of the Mike and Fiona team. Fiona and Mike, Michael and Fiona, however you say it, Fiona, from the UK. We're going to get into how they traveled throughout Europe, looking at naturist resorts and how they have their hotel on a boat that you can actually sign up for and be a guest. But before we do, Fiona, can you tell our listeners how to get a hold of you, or how to find you, how to find your hotel on the boat business, or whatever you want to put out there? That'd be a good time to do it.
Yeah, if you could say Google narrowboathotel.com, that should come up with all the information they need. If they can't get information through that for whatever reason, you can contact us directly I can give you our email address, which is probably, can I do that? Can I give you an email?
Sure. Yeah. Whatever you want. Sure.
I can do Discombe, which is DISCOMBE @hotmail.co.uk.
All right. Well, very good. The very terrific Fiona Discom, and we'll get to part 2 of my interview with her next week, naturistbnb.com. Well, thank you for being with us today on Naked, Nudists, and Naturists, episode 33 today. We give you a brand new show every Saturday morning at 6 o'clock a.m. Eastern Time. Continue to join us. Check us out on our website, nakednudistandnaturist.com, Spotify, Google, Amazon/Audible, Apple Podcasts, and also on Twitter. You can write us anywhere, anytime, any place. And we thank you for being with us today. Plan to join us for every single one of our shows here, and have your clothes off when you're listening. We have our clothes off when we're broadcasting, enjoying the naturist life.
We celebrate clothes-free living for all. Remember to enjoy being naked, and join us again for Naked, Nudists, and Naturists.
We drop a brand new show every Saturday morning, so come back and join us. Have your clothes off when you do for Naked, Nudists, and Naturists. Have a great clothes-free day.